Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to set up and optimize Docker containers on Unraid using community applications. Whether you are new to Unraid or looking to get the most out of your server, I'll guide you through the process step by step. Let's dive right in and unlock the power of Unraid Docker. All right, let's jump into it. So we're gonna head over to our Unraid dashboard and get logged in. Let me find my browser, there we go. Okay, so we're gonna get logged in. And then from there, we're gonna head on over to our apps. And I'll just give you a little rundown of what we're gonna do. So we're going to install 3 applications today. The first one we're going to install is something called Plex Media Server. What that is it is a streaming platform for your own content. So your home movies, pictures, any DVDs or Blu-rays that you have converted and stored on your computer or server. The second one we're going to install is a database program called MariaDB. And what that does is it is the back end for any of the more complex applications we install. The next application we're going to install is something called Nextcloud. Now, if you are familiar with Office 365 or G Suite, this will be something that you'll really like to use. It's collaborative, just like G Suite. You can host all your important files and PDFs, and you can host meetings. You can share your screen. You can use it as your phone system. It's got a ton of features that I think you'll really like. Okay, so the first application we're going to install is Plex Media Server. So we'll go ahead and search for that. And as I suggested previously, we always want to try and find the official release. So we're going to go click Actions and Install. Now, we have some stuff that we need to fill out here. The first one that we need to fill out is host path 2, which is our transcode folder. What is transcoding? Transcoding is the conversion of a media file that's not playable on a specific device. So if I have a 4K movie that I'm trying to watch on a tablet from 2016 that may not have the best features or qualities to it, RAM and CPU speed, Plex will actually automatically convert the media to a format that it can play. And in doing so, it stops a lot of the pausing and buffering and all that. So what we need to do is set it to a relatively fast path. So what we're going to do is we're actually just going to let it transcode in your system's RAM. So for that, we're just going to do a / and TMP. The next path that we need to give is for our multimedia. So if we click into this, it'll give us a drop down, and we can just go ahead and select multimedia or wherever you store your multimedia files on your Plex server. If this is a brand new server, we're actually just going to go ahead and we're going to remove that insert token, and that's all we need to do. So from there, we're just going to hit apply. And it's going to go ahead and download from the repository. And that's it. Plex is now installed. So we'll click Done. Okay, we'll head over to Docker. And then we're going to open up the web user interface. Now, I already got this connected to my Plex account, so we're just going to go through the setup process. It's just firing up the server, the Plex server. Okay. Going to let it access media outside my home. Click Next. And you can set the name to whatever you want if you don't want it to be the name of your Unraid server. But for demonstration purposes, we'll leave that as is. Okay, now we need to add a library. Now I've just put movies on here as an example. So we'll click movies and we'll give it the name movies. Next. Now we need to browse for our media. So we're going to click browse. And when we were setting our host path for our movies, we put it in the data. So the data folder, that's where it lives. So we'll click add. And then we're going to click add library. And if you have TV shows or any other media, pictures, home movies, you can go ahead and get those added at the same time. And then we're going to click next. And then from here, if we click the Get Plex Apps, it will open up a new tab, and it'll take you to their download section, so you can get their applications for whatever you're using. So they've got a whole bunch of different platforms, as well as iOS and Android apps. So we'll go back to here. We'll click done. All right, so here's our movies. These are the movies that are currently on our server. So if we click play, it will just like Netflix or Crave, Paramount, Disney Plus, it'll start playing. Jump ahead here. All right, so being that this movie's from 1955, we can actually see this is pretty good quality. And Plex does convert media to match whichever display you're using in most cases. So I use an Apple TV platform, and when I'm watching movies that are 1080 on my 4K TV, it'll try and upscale it to the format as best as it can. Now, one of the nice features about Plex is it's very much like Netflix and Hulu and all that stuff. So if we stop this playback, it actually saves where we were. So if we want to, come back to it at a later time and we click play, it'll ask if we want to resume or if we want to start from the beginning. So if I go to resume, it's just going to pull it back up right from where it left off. If you have not seen Guys and Dolls, I highly suggest you watch it. It is a great Frank Sinatra movie. Okay, so that is setting up Plex. It's super simple, nice and easy. Comes with a nice little dashboard that you can go to and see all your server stats. All right, so Docker, nice and simple. It's one of the main reasons why I love it. And I'll do a video going through all the Docker containers and what I use them for in a little bit here. For the meantime, let's go back to our community applications section, and we're going to go ahead and get our first database installed. So we're going to search for MariaDB, and we're going to find the official, which is this one here. We'll go ahead and click install. Here we need to interact a little bit. So as previously stated in a prior video, anything with an asterisk we need to pay attention to. So what we're going to do is, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to change generate random password to no. We have to give our database a name. So for this example, I'm just going to name it our server name. We need to give a database user. And for that, we're going to just name it admin1. And then our password, we're going to set just as password for this example. Do not set your database password as password. Set it as something strong and use a password manager if you have any issues remembering any passwords. So that's all we need to do for here. We're going to click apply. It's going to go ahead and pull from the repository and we will check back once this is done. Well, that was actually pretty fast. Okay. So now our interaction with this database is done. So what we're going to do is we're going to close out of that. And now we're going to search for Nextcloud. And then here we're going to install the latest from the official. And what we need to do is add our data. So we're actually going to change this to our multimedia. Just as an example, you'll want to set this to where you want your user files to store. So just for an example, we're going to use multimedia here. And we'll click apply. It's going to go ahead and download, so we'll come back when this is completed. Okay, that's all completed, so we're going to click done. Now, one of the things that I have found with Nextcloud is that it takes a few minutes for it to boot up. So as we can see here, it's using about 33 megabytes of RAM and about 1% of CPU utilization. So we're going to give this about 3 to 5 minutes to finish its initial installation from its first boot. And then once that's done, we're going to jump right into getting Nextcloud set up. All right, so a good indication when this is done doing its first initial startup is when your RAM levels out and you see no more CPU utilization. So we'll go ahead and we'll open the web UI. And here we go. It's asking us to create an admin account. So we're going to go ahead and do that. I'm just going to use BC Adventure as an example. And here I'm going to set a password. Oh, I'm just going to retype that. And then here I'm going to set the database we installed. So I'm going to click on MySQL or MariaDB. And here we need to set our database account. So that was admin1. Our password we stupidishly set as password. Our database name we're just going to set as Nextcloud. And our host is going to be as follows. So we need to go over here and we need to copy and paste this IP address. So we're going to copy and we're going to paste. And then from there, this all looks correct. We're going to hit install. Okay. Error while trying to create admin account. Failed to connect to the database. Okay. Well, let's see here. Let's go over to our container and edit. Okay. So I need to use the database name we created. I think that's what the issue is. So we'll go over here and we'll change that to BC Adventure and we'll put our password in and then install. Okay, that worked. So now that's installing. So this will take a couple minutes because what it's doing is it's actually creating the database, all the tables and extensions for Nextcloud to work properly. So we're just going to let this finish up. Okay, that's finished up now. And now it's brought us over to the installing recommended apps. If this is your first time using Nextcloud, I do highly, highly suggest that you install all the recommended apps. So we're just going to go ahead and do that. These are great features of Nextcloud. So with Calendar, you can schedule meetings and share your calendar with other Nextcloud users. Your contacts, is the same deal. You can share them. Mail, you can integrate your mail into Nextcloud so it can go ahead and grab appointment reminders out of your email messages. And it also integrates really well. So if you wanted to share files, it's a great way to do that. Nextcloud Office, this is your document editing. And Notes, just like Apple Notes or Android Notes. As well as Talk, which is a Skype or Microsoft Teams equivalent. So we're going to go ahead and let this finish installing. All right, so that's finished up. We're going to get a nice little intro video here. And it's going to let us know that we can get Nextcloud on all our devices. Now, I do have to say that as we have installed Nextcloud right now, it is not accessible from outside of your network. If your network is connected to another office, it will be accessible within your other office, you know, if you have that VPN set up. However, if you want to use this outside of your network, for example, if you were outside of your office, say your office is in Victoria, BC, and you're over on Vancouver, you're out in Vancouver, BC, and you need to access a file, you would not be able to do that either without connecting to your office via a VPN connection or having some kind of reverse proxy set up so that this is accessible on the internet. I will be covering reverse proxy in another video as it's a little bit more complicated and does require some interaction with your web host. So now that we've got Nextcloud installed, we have some options here. So what we can do is we can explore our files. Now, first run, things are always going to be a little bit slower. And we can see all our folders here. So documents. It always comes with a little bit of example stuff. But if we go into documents here and go new, we can create a new file. Or if we go over here, we can actually change the way we see all this. And then, actually, we'll go back to the dashboard here. And so if we go over to if we go over to the right here and we click our little profile photo, we can actually get into some of the more nitty-gritty stuff. We'll look at the apps here, and we'll see what apps it's already installed. Now we got quite a bit. So there are a lot of things that you can do with your Nextcloud instance. One of the main things is Office. So we'll go up to the top here. So we've got a bunch of Office things that we can do here. CAD Viewer, super popular. Charts, super popular. Google Docs, LibreSign. There's a whole slew. Oh, you can do mind maps, which is super popular. Office Online. You can integrate your Microsoft Office. OwnPad. Annotations, PDF downloader, plain text editor. Oh, there's Collabora. There's analytics. There's a whole bunch of things you can do and customize it for your office or home. It's totally up to you on how you want to utilize Nextcloud. How you use it can either make it a really great feature or a really cumbersome one. organization is key, of course. One last thing I want to show you is after you have applications installed, you'll want to make sure that they auto start with your server. So if your server suffers a power failure, or you're in an area that has brownouts and you don't have your server on a UPS battery backup, what you'll want to ensure is that your Docker containers will auto start after your server reboots. So if we go over to here, on the right-hand side, we see auto start. We want to make sure that those are selected for all your important applications. So Plex, that's pretty important to me, so I always want that to come on. Nextcloud, that's pretty important. MariaDB, that's even more important because we need it in order to run Nextcloud. So what we need to do to ensure that Nextcloud starts correctly is we need to give this a little bit of a delay because we need MariaDB to start first. Over on the right here, after the auto start selector, we see wait. And what that means is the amount of seconds that we want our application to wait before it starts after the server has booted. So because Maria database, it does get fairly large and can take a little bit to boot up, I want to give Nextcloud a 20-second delay to start. That gives MariaDB 20 seconds to get fully booted before Nextcloud requests the database tables. And that's it. Docker and community applications in Unraid is super simple. In the next video we're going to be setting up what's called a reverse proxy. Reverse proxy basically allows any applications that you have here running to be exposed to the internet without exposing all your data and your entire server. It's really simple to get set up. Very minimal knowledge is required, but you will need to interact with your web host. If you do not have a web host and you're just looking for a simple subdomain, please reach out to us. We can set you up with that really quickly and easily. Other than that, this is going to end this video. Give a like and subscribe if you found this useful. Please leave a comment below if you want to see anything else or you have any comments or tips. I am new to the whole content creation thing, so I'm still kind of finding my footing, and I'm trying to get better with each video I create. So again, if you have any feedback, good or bad, please leave a like and a comment, and please feel free to subscribe. All right, thanks everyone.